Captain Susumu Kodai stood at the center of the Yamato's bridge, watching the view screen display an enemy that should not exist. The Gamila's dimensional weapon hung in space like a tumor on reality, a construct of twisted metal and exotic energy that pulsed with power sufficient to tear holes between universes. Intelligence had said it was theoretical, that the Gamilas lacked the technology to weaponize dimensional physics. Intelligence had been catastrophically wrong. Distance to target? Kodai asked, his voice carrying the calm that came from commanding Earth's most powerful warship through 3 interstellar wars. 50,000 space kilometers and holding, Daisuke Shima reported from the helm, his hands steady on controls that had guided the Yamato through impossible battles. The weapon is charging, Captain. Energy output is increasing exponentially. Tactical Analysis Analyzer. The ship's AI, a humanoid robot that served as tactical officer, processed data with mechanical precision. The dimensional weapon will reach critical charge in 4 minutes, 17 seconds. If activated, it will create a rift large enough to transport the entire Gamilas fleet directly to Earth orbit, bypassing all defensive lines. Probability of Earth survival, 0.03%. Kodai's jaw tightened. After everything, the wars, the sacrifices, the billions saved, to lose Earth to a single weapon was unthinkable. Options? We can retreat and warn Earth. Chief Engineer Hikozemon Tokugawa's gravelly voice came through from engineering. Give them time to evacuate. Maybe a few million survive. Or, Kodai pressed, or we fire the wave motion gun. Or full power. Destroy the weapon before it activates. But Captain... Tokugawa paused and Kodai heard the concern. Their weapon is generating dimensional instability. If we fire the wave motion gun at it, the exotic energies might interact. Could cause cascade failure, could tear a hole in space-time itself. Could, Kodai repeated. Not will. What's the probability? Analyzer's response was immediate. Insufficient data for accurate calculation. However, the alternative is Earth's certain destruction. Logic suggests we do what we always do, Kodai interrupted, his voice carrying across the bridge. We fight. We risk everything. We save Earth. Helm, bring us to firing position. All hands, prepare for wave motion gun discharge. This is what we were built for. The Yamato turned. Eye her massive hull rotating with grace that belied her size. 350 meters of human engineering, a battleship designed after the sunken World War II vessel, rebuilt with technology born from desperation and genius. Her wave motion engine, powered by principles humanity had discovered through trial, error, and the sacrifice of countless scientists, hummed with building power. Wave motion gun, charging, Yuki Mori reported from her operations station, her hands moving across controls with practiced efficiency. 60 seconds to full power. Captain, Dr. Sakezo Sato's voice came from medical, concern evident despite his usual philosophical calm. If this goes wrong, if we tear a hole in space, we might not survive the transition. We could be scattered across dimensions. Lost forever. Then we'll find our way home, Kodai replied. We always do. 40 seconds. The Gamila's weapon pulsed, sensing the threat. Smaller ships moved to intercept. Destroyers, cruisers, fighters pouring from carrier vessels. The Yamato's point defense cannons engaged, creating a field of fire that vaporized incoming threats. But they were running out of time. 20 seconds, wave motion gun at 95%. Kodai thought of his brother Mamoru, who died saving the Yamato years ago. Thought of Captain Okita, who'd sacrificed everything to bring humanity hope. Thought of Earth, green, blue, beautiful Earth, and the billions depending on decisions made in the depths of space by people they'd never meet. This is Captain Kodai. All crew, brace for wave motion gun discharge. And he paused, allowing himself a moment of sentiment. It's been an honor serving with you. Wave motion gun, full charge, firing. The Yamato's bow opened, energy gathered, exotic particles compressed beyond normal physics, power equivalent to a small star contained and directed. The wave motion gun fired. A lance of blue-white energy crossed the distance to the Gamila's weapon in microseconds. The universe held its breath, then screamed. The energies collided, wave motion power meeting dimensional instability. Reality didn't crack. It shattered. A rift tore open, not cleanly but jaggedly, like glass breaking under stress. Dimensional walls that kept universes separate dissolved, and the Yamato, positioned directly in the path of the cascade, was pulled through. Emergency, Shima called, fighting controls that suddenly responded to physics that weren't quite right. We're being pulled into the rift, engines not responding. All hands, secure for dimensional transit, Kodai ordered. Engineering, stabilize the wave motion core. Trying, Tokugawa's voice was strained. But Captain, the core is resonating with the rift. It's like they're the same frequency. We're being pulled through because we're compatible with the dimensional barrier. The Yamato tumbled through impossible geometries. The view screen showed colors that had no names, structures that existed in more dimensions than 3, the crawling chaos of the space between realities. Crew members screamed, clutched their stations, prayed to gods of every faith humanity had ever conceived. And then, transition. The Yamato emerged into normal space with violent force, her hull groaning, her systems sparking, but intact. Ashima immediately checked instruments. Status report, Kodai ordered, his voice steady despite the disorientation. We're intact, Shima reported, confusion evident. All systems functional. But Captain, the stars are wrong. None of these constellations match our charts. We're not in charted space. Not just uncharted, Analyzer added, his mechanical voice carrying what might have been concern. These stellar formations do not match any configuration in our database. Star density is different. Galactic position is anomalous. Captain, we are not in our universe anymore. The statement hung in the air. Not in our universe, pulled through a dimensional rift into somewhere, someone else. Sensor contacts, Yuki called. Multiple structures bearing 047 Mark III. Distance, 70,000 kilometers. Configuration is... See, Captain, it looks artificial. Ancient. But the power readings are minimal. On the view screen, the structure resolved. It was massive, easily the size of a small moon, constructed in patterns that suggested purpose without revealing function. Spires extended from a central hub in geometric perfection, and across its surface, markings, symbols. Can we translate? Kodai asked. Attempting, Analyzer replied. Language is unknown, but mathematical structure suggests... He paused, processing. Dimensional coordinates, star maps, and what appears to be a distress signal. Captain, this structure is a beacon, a call for help. From who? Unknown, but based on the decay patterns and energy signature degradation, it has been broadcasting for approximately 10,000 years. 10,000 years. A distress call echoing across dimensions, unanswered until the Yamato had stumbled through carrying energy that... Analyzer, is our wave motion engine compatible with this structure's power system? Analyzing. Yes, extremely compatible. Almost as if, Captain, the wave motion engine is activating systems in the structure. Our presence is powering it up. The ancient beacon came to life. Lights flickered across its surface, power surged through dormant systems, and then it transmitted. Not locally, not even system-wide, galactic-wide. A pulse of energy exploded outward from the beacon, carrying information, coordinates, identity. Across thousands of light years, the pulse raced, touching every star system, every inhabited world, every listening post. And in a mountain in Colorado, on a planet called Earth, alarms began to scream. Or Stargate Command, Cheyenne Mountain, Earth, 0347 hours. Major General Hank Landry burst into the control room wearing pajamas and a bathrobe, but his eyes were sharp, alert, and focused on the organized chaos before him. "Report," he barked. "Sir," Chief Master Sergeant Walter Harriman said from his station, his usual calm replaced with barely controlled urgency, "every Stargate in the Milky Way just activated simultaneously, all of them, at the exact same moment. That's impossible. The system doesn't work that way." "I know, sir, but it happened. And that's not the worst part. We're detecting an energy signature from deep space, massive, bigger than anything we recorded during the Dakara weapon activation, bigger than any ancient technology we've encountered." Lieutenant Colonel Samantha Carter ran into the room, pulling on her jacket, blonde hair still disheveled from sleep. "General, I've been analyzing the data. This is unprecedented. Every Stargate in the network lit up like a Christmas tree for exactly 3.7 seconds, then shut down. They were transmitting coordinates and what appears to be a request for assistance." "Assistance? From who?" "Unknown. But the source," Carter pulled up a star chart highlighting a point in deep space, "is here, approximately 17,000 light-years from Earth. And sir, the energy signature is unlike anything in our database. It's not Goa'uld, not Asgard, not Wraith. It's something new." Landry processed this, his tactical mind working through implications. "Could it be the Ori?" "No, sir. The Ori use different power frequencies. This is—" Carter paused, searching for words. "Oh, this is something that resonates with ancient technology but isn't ancient. It's like someone built a knockoff that somehow works better than the original." "How is that possible?" "I have no idea, which is why we need to investigate immediately." Landry nodded. "Get the Prometheus and the Daedalus ready for immediate departure. I want SG-1 on the Prometheus. And Colonel," he met Carter's eyes, "if this is a new player in the galaxy, we need to know if they're friend or foe before they come knocking on Earth's door." "Understood, sir. We'll be ready to depart in 30 minutes. As Carter left to assemble her team, Landry stared at the star chart. Something new. Something powerful enough to activate every Stargate simultaneously. Something that shouldn't exist. In 30 years of military service, Landry had learned that shouldn't exist was usually followed by is trying to kill us. He hoped this time would be different. Space battleship Yamato, bridge. 6 hours later, Kodai sat in his command chair, reviewing reports that painted an impossible picture. According to analyzers' analysis of stellar drift and cosmic background radiation, they jumped not just between universes, but possibly between timelines. This galaxy was structurally similar to their own Milky Way, but the distribution of star systems was different. Civilizations that should exist didn't. Technologies that shouldn't be possible were, and most critically, Earth existed here. But it wasn't their Earth. Tokugawa had confirmed it after analyzing electromagnetic emissions from the third planet in a system approximately 26,000 light-years from their current position. Radio signals, television broadcasts, digital transmissions, all in languages the Yamato's computers could translate: English, Chinese, Russian, Japanese. Earth. But an Earth that had never faced the Gamilas, never built the Yamato, never fought and bled and died across the stars. An Earth that, according to the transmissions Yuki had intercepted, had encountered something else. Alien technology called Stargates that allowed instantaneous travel across the galaxy. "Captain," Yuki reported, I'm detecting two ships approaching from hyperspace. They're not using wave motion drives or dimensional transit. It's something else. See, artificial wormholes through subspace. Battle stations, Kodai ordered. We don't know if they're hostile. Prepare defensive measures, but do not fire unless fired upon. Aye, Captain. The view screen showed the newcomers emerging from brilliantly glowing vortexes. Two ships, sleek, powerful, bristling with weapons and armor. Smaller than the Yamato, but clearly advanced, clearly military, and broadcasting on all frequencies. Unknown vessel, this is the Earth ship Prometheus. You are in restricted space. Identify yourself immediately, or we will open fire. Kodai's heart skipped. Earth ship. They were from Earth. This Earth, the one that had never needed saving because it had found its own path to the stars. Open a channel, he ordered. This is Captain Susumu Kodai of the space battleship Yamato. We are not hostile. We come from, he paused, choosing words carefully, from another version of Earth. We were pulled through a dimensional rift during combat operations. We mean no harm to anyone. A pause. Then a different voice, female, carrying scientific curiosity alongside military caution. Captain Kodai, this is Colonel Samantha Carter of the Earth ship Prometheus. Did you say you're from another Earth? As in another universe? Affirmative. We were fighting to prevent a dimensional weapon from being used against our Earth. We succeeded, but the resulting energies pulled us through to your reality. We're as surprised as you are. Another pause. Longer. Then, Captain, we're going to need you to power down weapons and allow us to send a team aboard. We have protocols for first contact situations, and this definitely qualifies. Are you willing to cooperate? Kodai looked at his crew. They'd followed him through 3 wars, trusted his judgment through impossible situations, never questioned his orders even when death seemed certain. Colonel Carter, I'm willing to talk, but my crew has been through significant trauma. We're not powering down weapons until we understand the situation better. However, he made a decision. I'll allow a small team aboard. Unarmed. We'll meet on neutral ground. Our observation deck. That acceptable? Stand by. Minutes passed. Then, agreed. We're sending 4 people. SG-1, our first contact team. They'll be armed but instructed not to initiate hostilities. And Captain, welcome to our galaxy. We'll figure this out together. The channel closed. Kodai stood. Yuki, Analyzer, Shima, you're with me. Dr. Sado, prepare medical bay for possible casualties. Tokugawa, monitor the wave motion core. If this goes badly, I want us able to jump immediately. Where would we jump to, Captain? Tokugawa asked gently. We're not in our universe anymore. There's nowhere to run. Kodai smiled without humor. Then we better make sure we don't need to run. Come on, let's meet our new neighbors. As he walked toward the observation deck, Kodai allowed himself a moment of philosophical reflection. The Yamato had been built to save Earth. They'd succeeded. Multiple times, across multiple crises. Now they were here, in a new universe, with a new Earth. Maybe their work wasn't done after all. Maybe fate, or whatever cosmic force had pulled them here, had plans for the Yamato still. And if this new Earth needed saving, well, that's what the Yamato did. That's what they'd always done. The Asgard beaming technology was something Colonel Jack O'Neill had experienced hundreds of times, but he never quite got used to the sensation of being disassembled and reassembled at the atomic level. One moment he was standing in the Prometheus's beam-out room, the next he was materializing on the deck of a ship that looked like it had sailed straight out of a World War II museum, if that museum existed in space and had weapons that could crack planets. Well, O'Neill said, taking in the observation deck's retro-futuristic aesthetic, polished metal, analog gauges mixed with holographic displays, and a distinctly naval design philosophy. This is different. Beside him, Samantha Carter was already scanning with her handheld device, her scientific mind cataloging everything. "Sir, the design is fascinating. It's like they took 20th century naval architecture and upgraded it with exotic physics. The structural integrity alone shouldn't be possible with this hull configuration, but somehow, Carter, focus." O'Neill kept his P-90 pointed at the deck, non-threatening but ready. Behind him, Teal'c stood with quiet menace, his staff weapon held casually but prepared. Daniel Jackson clutched his tablet, recording everything with the enthusiasm of an archaeologist who just discovered Atlantis. Again, 4 figures stood waiting. 3 men in dark blue uniforms with gold trim that screamed military formality, and 1 humanoid robot that looked like it had walked off a 1960s sci-fi set, but carried itself with obvious intelligence. The man at the center, young, maybe mid-30s, with dark hair and eyes that had seen too much combat, stepped forward and bowed slightly, a formal military greeting, precise and respectful. "Colonel O'Neill, Colonel Carter, I am Captain Susumu Kodai of the space battleship Yamato. This is my tactical officer, Analyzer, my operations officer, Lieutenant Yuki Mori, and my helmsman, Lieutenant Daisuke Shima. Welcome aboard." O'Neill returned the greeting with a casual salute that would have given his drill sergeant an aneurysm. "Captain, nice ship. Very retro. The whole World War II aesthetic really works, though I gotta ask, where are the airbrushed pinup girls on the nose?" Carter closed her eyes briefly. "Sir." Daniel stepped forward, ever the diplomat. "Captain Kodai, I'm Dr. Daniel Jackson. Thank you for allowing us aboard. We understand you claim to be from another Earth? Another universe?" "Not claim, Dr. Jackson. We are." Kodai gestured to a holographic display that flickered to life, showing star charts that were almost, but not quite, identical to their own Milky Way. "Approximately 7 hours ago, we engaged a Gamila's dimensional weapon threatening our Earth. We destroyed it using our ship's wave motion gun, but the resulting energy cascade tore open a rift between dimensions. We were pulled through." "Gamilas?" Carter asked, her scientific curiosity overriding protocol. "What are they?" "A humanoid species from the planet Gamelon. We've been at war with them for—" Kodai paused, calculating. "It's complicated. Multiple wars, multiple treaties, multiple betrayals. The point is, they developed dimensional weapons. We stopped them, and ended up here." Teal'c spoke, his deep voice carrying authority. "Captain Kodai, you speak of war with casual familiarity. How long has your Earth been engaged in interstellar conflict?" "Since the Gamilas bombed our planet nearly 20 years ago, killing billions and rendering the surface nearly uninhabitable. The Yamato was built to save what remained of humanity. We traveled 148,000 light-years to Iskandar to retrieve technology that could restore Earth. We succeeded, then fought the Comet Empire, then the Bolar Federation. Then—" Kodai stopped himself. "We've been fighting a long time, Teal'c. Your Earth seems to have found a different path." "We've had our share of conflicts," O'Neill replied, his casual tone dropping slightly. "The Goa'uld, the Replicators, the Ori. We know about fighting for survival. But Captain, we need to understand your technology. That energy pulse you created when you activated the ancient beacon, it lit up every stargate in the galaxy simultaneously. That's supposed to be impossible." "Ancient beacon?" Kodai looked at Analyzer. The robot responded in a precise mechanical voice. "The structure we encountered appears to be approximately 10,000 years old. Its power systems were dormant until our wave motion engine's proximity activated them. The technology is unfamiliar but shows design principles similar to our own wave motion technology. Carter's eyes widened. Wait, your wave motion engine is similar to ancient technology. Can I see it? Please? Kodai smiled slightly, the first genuine expression O'Neill had seen from him. You're a scientist, Colonel Carter. Astrophysicist and engineer. And I'm currently trying not to geek out over the fact that you apparently built ancient-level technology through independent development, which should be impossible because the ancients were millions of years more advanced than humans. But here you are with a ship that just generated more power than anything we've encountered outside of a zero-point module, and I really need to see how you did that. Carter, breathing, O'Neill reminded her. Kodai's smile widened. Chief Engineer Tokugawa would be honored to show you, but Colonel O'Neill is right. We need to establish trust first. You came here with weapons. We have weapons that can destroy stars. Neither of us wants to fight, so let's talk. What do you need to know? Daniel seized the opportunity. Everything. Your history. How your Earth developed faster than light travel. How you built technology that resonates with the ancients. Who the ancients are in your universe. We don't have ancients, Kodai interrupted. We have humanity, and Gamilas, and Iskandarians who gave us the Cosmo Cleaner technology, and a dozen other species we've encountered, but no precursor race that left behind advanced technology. Everything we built ourselves. Through desperation, sacrifice, and the knowledge that if we failed, humanity died. Teal'c inclined his head respectfully. You are warriors. This ship carries the weight of battle. I recognize it. Your crew has fought and bled and watched comrades die. They follow you because you have proven worthy of that burden. We lost a lot of people, Kodai said quietly. Good people, friends, family. Every time we return to Earth, there are fewer of us. But we keep fighting because the alternative is extinction, and because, he looked at his crew, because someone has to stand between humanity and the things trying to destroy it. Yeah, O'Neill said softly. We know that feeling. For a moment, the two commanders, from different universes, different histories, different wars, shared understanding that transcended words. The burden of command, the weight of lives lost, the knowledge that victory often meant being the last one standing. Captain Kodai, Carter said, breaking the moment, we need to discuss the political situation. Your ship is more powerful than anything Earth has ever built. You've demonstrated weapons capability that could threaten planets. Multiple governments are going to want control of this technology. The UN individual nations, so organizations that see you as either a threat or an opportunity. How do you want to handle this? The same way we handled it in our universe, Kodai replied. The Yamato serves Earth, all of Earth, not individual governments or power blocks. We're military, but we answer to humanity as a whole. If your Earth is in danger, we'll defend it. If your Earth wants our technology, we'll share what we can. But we won't be pawns in political games. That's going to be complicated, Daniel observed. Earth's governments aren't exactly unified. We've got the Stargate program operating in secret, multiple national interests, power struggles. Then we'll deal with complications, Kodai said firmly. We've dealt with worse. But understand this. The Yamato answers to her captain and her crew, not politicians, not bureaucrats. We've fought too hard to survive to become someone's weapon. O'Neill grinned. Oh, I like you. You're gonna give the IOA fits. That's gonna be hilarious. Sir, Carter said warningly. What? I'm building rapport. Captain Kodai and I understand each other. We're both allergic to BS and people who want to use us for their own agendas. It's a foundation for beautiful friendship. Colonel O'Neill is correct, Teal'c added, though his method of expression is unconventional. Captain Kodai, I would be honored to learn more of your battles. Warriors should share knowledge. Kodai nodded. Perhaps we can arrange cultural exchange. Your people learn from us, we learn from you. But first, his expression became serious. We need to address a critical issue. When we activated that beacon, we sent out a signal. A very loud signal that told everyone in the galaxy, here we are and we're powerful. If your enemies are anything like ours, they're going to investigate. Already thought of that, O'Neill replied. The Goa'uld picked up the signal. We're detecting increased fleet movements. They're going to come looking. And when they see your ship, they're going to want it, Kodai finished. In our universe, everyone wants the Yamato, for its technology, for its weapons, for what it represents. I'm guessing your enemies are similar. Actually, they're worse, Daniel said. The Goa'uld are parasitic aliens who claim to be gods. They enslave populations, steal technology, and fight each other for dominance. If they think your ship is some kind of ancient weapon, they'll try to take it by force, Analyzer interjected. Probability of diplomatic resolution with hostile species claiming divine status, 0.07%. Recommendation: prepare for military engagement. Not helping, Analyzer, Kodai muttered. Then to O'Neill, how many ships are we talking about? Depends on which system lord is interested. Could be a couple, could be dozens. The Goa'uld have massive fleets, but they're not exactly unified. They spend as much time fighting each other as they do fighting us. Then we prepare defenses. Kodai activated a comm panel. This is the captain. All hands, condition yellow. Potential hostile contact imminent. Engineering, bring wave motion gun to standby charge. Tactical, begin continuous sensor sweeps. We have new allies, but also new enemies. Stay sharp. Carter watched the crew respond with practiced efficiency. No panic. No hesitation, just professional competence born from countless battles. Captain, I need to see your engineering section. If we're going to coordinate defenses, I need to understand your capabilities and limitations. Tokugawa will brief you, but Colonel... Kodai met her eyes. The wave motion gun can destroy planets, literally vaporize them. That's not a limitation. That's a reality. We've used it, multiple times, to save Earth. If we have to use it here, then we use it, O'Neill said. Look, Captain, we're not naive. We've got planet-killing weapons too. Asgard beams can disintegrate ships. Ancient drones can destroy fleets. We understand that sometimes overwhelming force is the only option, but we also understand restraint. You've got a doomsday weapon. We trust you not to use it unless absolutely necessary. How can you trust us? You just met us. Because you could have blown us out of space the moment we arrived. You could have jumped away and left us in the dark. Instead, you invited us aboard to talk. That tells me everything I need to know about your character. You're soldiers, not murderers. Warriors, not tyrants. And right now, Earth needs warriors. Which Earth? Kodai asked quietly. Ours doesn't exist here. We're refugees from another reality. Orphans from a universe we can't return to. Why should we fight for your Earth? Because it's still Earth, Daniel said simply. Different history, different path, but same humanity. Same people trying to survive in a hostile galaxy. Same hope that tomorrow will be better than today. Captain, you said the Yamato serves Earth, so all of Earth. Well, this is Earth, and it needs you. Kodai was silent, processing. Then he looked at Yuki, at Shima, at Analyzer, his crew, his family, the people who'd followed him across impossible distances. Thoughts? We're already here, Yuki said softly, and they need help. That's what we do. That's what we've always done. I'd like to try their fighters, Shima added with a slight grin. See if they can keep up with Yamato's helm. Probability of successful integration, 73%, analyzer calculated. Recommendation: accept alliance. This Earth's technology combined with our firepower creates strategic advantage. Kodai nodded. Then it's decided. Colonel O'Neill, the Yamato will ally with your Earth. We'll defend it. We'll share our knowledge. And if your enemies want to fight, his expression hardened, carrying the weight of 3 wars and countless battles. We'll give them one they won't forget. O'Neill extended his hand. Welcome to the Stargate program, Captain. Try not to blow up too many planets. Hammond gets testy about the paperwork. They shook. 2 commanders from different realities, united by shared purpose. Outside, beyond the observation deck's windows, the Prometheus and Daedalus held position, their weapon systems active but not hostile. And further out, hidden in hyperspace, Goa'uld scouts observed and reported back to their masters. The Yamato had arrived, and the galaxy would never be the same. Samantha Carter stood in the Yamato's engine room and experienced something she hadn't felt since discovering the Stargate program. Absolute wonder. The wave motion engine dominated the space, a massive construct of exotic materials and impossible engineering. Energy pulsed through crystalline conduits in patterns that violated conventional physics. The reactor core itself defied description. Not fusion, not matter-antimatter, but something else. Something that tapped into the fundamental fabric of space-time. This shouldn't work, she breathed, scanning with every instrument she'd brought. The energy density alone should collapse into a singularity. The exotic matter fluctuations should tear the ship apart. The quantum field harmonics are completely unstable by every model I know. But it does work. It's generating power equivalent to a ZPM. How? Chief Engineer Hikozimon Tokugawa watched her with amusement, his weathered face creasing in a smile. Colonel Carter, I asked the same question when we built the first prototype. My mentor, Dr. Sanada, told me, stop asking how it's possible and focus on making it work. We had 3 years to save Earth. No time for perfection, just results. But the theoretical framework, we barely understood the theory. We had fragments of Iskandarian knowledge, observations of the Gamila's propulsion, and desperation. Lots of desperation. So we built something that shouldn't work, tested it, fixed the failures, tested again, and eventually, he gestured at the humming engine, it worked. Not elegantly, not safely, but it saved Earth. Carter moved closer to the core, her scientific mind trying to process what she was seeing. The energy isn't generated, it's drawn from somewhere else. Subspace, another dimension. You're creating a controlled rift that pulls power through. That's incredibly dangerous, Tokugawa offered. Yes. Likely to explode and vaporize the ship. Also yes. But we've been running this engine for nearly 20 years. We understand its moods, its quirks. Treat it right and it'll save your life. Treat it wrong. He shrugged. Well, we've lost engineers that way. And the wave motion gun? How do you weaponize this? We compress the energy, focus it through tachyon lenses, and release it in a directed stream. Think of it as a shaped charge explosive, but with exotic matter instead of conventional explosives. The beam travels at near light speed, carries enough energy to overwhelm any shielding we've encountered, and impacts with force equivalent to a stellar mass compressed into a meter-wide stream. That's genocide-level weaponry. Yes, Tokugawa's expression became grim. We know. Captain Okita, our first commander, agonized over every use of the wave motion gun. Captain Kodai inherited that burden. We don't fire it casually. But when we do, when we must, nothing survives. Carter's tablet beeped, displaying integration calculations. Chief Engineer, I've been running simulations. If we could combine your wave motion principles with our ZPM technology, if we could use ancient power regulation to stabilize your exotic matter fluctuations, we might be able to create hybrid systems, ships with wave motion drives and Asgard hyperdrives, weapons with wave motion power and ancient precision, creating super weapons, creating survivability. The Ori are coming, Chief. They're humans from another galaxy who've achieved technological ascension. They see us as heretics to be exterminated. If we can't match their power, Earth falls. Again. And this time, there's no Yamato to save us. Tokugawa studied her. This woman from another Earth, another history, facing her own extinction-level threat. You're like us, fighting impossible wars, facing enemies that should destroy you, but surviving through ingenuity and refusal to surrender. Is there any other way? No, there isn't. Tokugawa activated a holographic interface. All right, Colonel. Let's see if two Earth's technologies can create something that saves both our peoples. Show me these zero-point modules. Let's build something impossible. As they worked, combining technologies separated by dimensional barriers, but united by human determination, neither noticed Analyzer observing from the doorway. The robot's computational matrices processed probabilities, tactical scenarios, and strategic implications. Two Earth technologies merging, two humanities cooperating, two sets of warriors preparing for battles that neither could win alone. Probability of successful hybrid development, 81%. Probability of hybrid technology changing galactic balance of power, 94%. Probability of attracting hostile attention from overwhelmingly powerful enemies, 99.7%. Recommendation: accelerate development. Battle was coming, and when it arrived, humanity, both versions, would be ready or dead. Analyzer calculated the odds were roughly equal. General Landry stood before a room full of people who shouldn't exist in the same universe. Earth's military command, Yamato's senior staff, Asgard's Supreme Commander Thor, whose hologram floated at the table's end, and representatives from the IOA who looked like they wanted to simultaneously study and imprison the Yamato crew. All right, people, Landry began. Let's address the elephant in the room, or rather the 350-meter warship currently in orbit that just gave every intelligence agency on the planet a collective heart attack. Captain Kodai, would you like to explain to the IOA why you refuse to submit your ship to UN authority? Kodai stood, his dress uniform impeccable, his bearing military formal. With respect, General, the Yamato has never answered to political authority. In our universe, see, we operated independently because political authorities were too slow, too compromised, or too willing to sacrifice Earth for expedient solutions. We've been betrayed by governments, used as pawns in power struggles, and nearly destroyed because politicians wanted control more than victory. So no, we won't submit to authority structures we don't trust. Richard Woolsey, the IOA's representative, adjusted his glasses with visible irritation. Captain, you're asking us to accept a foreign military asset with planet-killing capability operating without oversight. That's unacceptable by every international law. Your international law doesn't apply to me. I'm not from your reality. You're operating in our space. Because we were pulled here against our will while saving our Earth from extinction. We didn't choose this, but we're here, and we're offering to help. If you can't accept help without demanding control, that's your limitation, not ours. O'Neill, sitting with his feet on the table despite Landry's glare, grinned. I like him. Can we keep him? Jack, Landry warned. What? He's got a point. How many times have we had to ignore orders from the IOA because they were stupidly suicidal? Captain Kodai's just being honest about it, up front. Thor's holographic form flickered. Captain Kodai, I have examined your ship's technology. The wave motion engine operates on principles the Asgard believed impossible for human civilization to develop independently. You have achieved in 20 years what should have taken millennia. This suggests either remarkable innovation or external assistance. Which is it? Both, Tokugawa replied from his seat beside Kodai. We received theoretical knowledge from the Iskandarians, a dying race who gave us the Cosmo Cleaner technology to restore Earth. But the practical engineering? That was human. Trial, error, sacrifice, and desperation. We built something that shouldn't work because we had no choice. Fascinating. Supreme Commander Thor would very much like to study your engine. The Asgard are facing genetic degradation. If your exotic matter principles could be applied to our cloning technology. We'll help, Kodai said immediately. The Asgard saved this Earth. If we can return that favor, we will. But we need mutual respect. No one steals our technology. No one dictates our operations. We cooperate as equals or not at all. Unacceptable, Woolsey began. Accepted, Landry overrode him. Captain Kodai, you've got Earth's cooperation on your terms. The IOA can file complaints in triplicate for all I care. You saved our asses when you activated that ancient beacon. It gave us advance warning of Go-Old fleet movements we wouldn't have had otherwise. That buys you considerable goodwill. General, Woolsey protested. Mr. Woolsey, I've been commanding Stargate operations long enough to recognize when we need to bend rules to survive. The Yamato and her crew are assets we can't afford to alienate. Now sit down and let the military professionals handle this. Woolsey sat, fuming. Daniel leaned over to Carter. $10 says he files a complaint within an hour. Sucker bet. I give him 20 minutes. Dr. Sato, who'd been quietly observing while sipping sake from a flask, spoke up. General Landry, I understand your position. But you should know, we Yamato crew have seen this pattern before. Governments promising cooperation while secretly planning betrayal. If you attempt to seize our ship, study our people without consent, or use us as pawns, we will leave, and you'll face whatever threats emerge alone. Noted, Doctor, and I assure you, as long as I'm in command, the SGC operates on trust and mutual respect. We fought alongside too many allies to burn bridges with dimensional refugees offering help. Then let's discuss the actual threat, Carter interjected, pulling up holographic displays. We've confirmed massive Go-Old fleet movements. System Lord Baal is mobilizing forces near the beta site. Intelligence suggests he's after the Yamato specifically. He believes the wave motion engine is some kind of ancient weapon he can reverse engineer to achieve technological superiority over other system lords. How many ships? Kodai asked, his tactical mind immediately engaged. Preliminary counts suggest 30 to 40 Hatak motherships, plus support craft, fighter screens, Jaffa ground forces if he attempts boarding. 40 capital ships. Kodai processed this, comparing to battles he'd fought. What are their capabilities? Shields that can withstand nuclear weapons, energy weapons that can glass planets, hyperspace engines that allow FTL travel, ring transporters for rapid troop deployment, and crews of thousands of Jaffa warriors who've been bred for combat and believe their gods are real. But they're not gods, Teal'c added. They are parasites. Goa'uld symbiotes that possess human hosts and enslave populations through technology and deception. I should know. I served them for over 100 years before joining Stargate Command. Shima spoke up for the first time. You were enslaved, and you broke free? I chose freedom. I chose to fight my former gods. It is the most important decision of my life. One I do not regret despite the hardships it brought. Then we fight alongside you, Shima said simply. Anyone who fights for freedom deserves allies. How does the Yamato fare against these Hatak vessels? Yuki asked, her operations mind calculating fleet engagements. In one-on-one combat? The Yamato would dominate, Carter replied. Your armor is denser. Your weapons hit harder. Your shields... She paused. Wait, you don't have shields? Armor is more reliable, Tokugawa said. Shields can be overloaded. Good steel alloy and wave motion reinforcement can't. You fight without shields. Carter looked horrified. Against weapons that can... Yes, we fight without shields. We rely on armor, point defense cannons, and not getting hit. It's worked for 20 years. That's insane. That's the Yamato, Kodai said with a slight smile. Colonel Carter, we've faced fleets before. The Gamila's Grand Armada, the Comet Empire's White Comet, the Bolar Federation's Dimensional Forces. We're still here. 40 ships is manageable. Manageable, O'Neill repeated. Captain, I appreciate the confidence, but 40 Hataks can unleash enough firepower to turn a planet into gravel. You're talking about engaging a fleet that's designed to terrify entire star systems into submission. Then we terrify them back. The wave motion gun can destroy how many Hataks per shot? Theoretical estimates suggest 3 to 5, depending on their formation, Analyzer provided. However, recharge time between shots is approximately 40 seconds. During that window, the Yamato would be vulnerable to concentrated fire. So we use your fleet as screens, Kodai said, immediately strategizing. Your BC-304 ships, Prometheus, Daedalus, they provide covering fire and target distribution. Your F-302 fighters harass and draw fire. The Yamato anchors the formation and provides overwhelming firepower. We coordinate through your tactical networks, adapt to their responses, and eliminate them ship by ship. You've done this before, Landry observed. Commanded fleet actions against overwhelming odds. Multiple times. The Yamato has served as flagship for defensive fleets when needed. We know how to fight outnumbered. It's practically our specialty. Thor's hologram leaned forward with visible interest. Captain Kodai, the Asgard would be willing to provide tactical support. Our sensors could help coordinate targeting. Our transporters could assist with rapid troop deployment if the Goa'uld attempt boarding actions. And if the situation becomes untenable, we could provide evacuation. Evacuation isn't an option. If we run, Baal will pursue. Better to end this now, decisively, and send a message to every system lord. Earth is defended. Leave us alone or die. I like the way you think, O'Neill said. Aggressive, direct, no political dancing. Just come at me and see what happens. That's my kind of strategy. It's worked for us so far, Kodai replied. But General Landry, I need authorization. We're talking about a major fleet engagement, potentially hundreds of casualties. Definite use of the wave motion gun, which will destroy multiple enemy vessels with extreme prejudice. This isn't defense, it's a statement. Are you comfortable with that? Landry was quiet, weighing the decision every commander dreads. Authorize force, accept casualties, live with consequences. Mr. Woolsey, Landry said finally, you're going to file a complaint about this too. Might as well make it comprehensive. General, you can't seriously be authorizing. I am. Captain Kodai, you have authorization to engage hostile forces, threatening Earth and our allies. I'll use whatever force necessary to protect our people. The IOA can complain after we survive. Thank you, General. We won't fail you. See that you don't, because if this goes wrong, we're all dead, and the IOA gets to say, "Told you so" on our gravestones. Now let's plan a battle. Beta Site. 48 hours later, the battle begins. The Beta Site hung in space, a barren planet converted into a fallback position for SGC operations. Stargate, command post, supply depots, and now a rallying point for Earth's combined fleet. Kodai stood on the Yamato's bridge, watching the tactical display show enemy contacts emerging from hyperspace. 37 Hatak motherships. More than expected, less than worst-case scenario. All ships, this is Captain Kodai. Battle stations, defensive formation Delta 3, Prometheus and Daedalus. You're our outer screen. F302 squadrons, your harassment and point defense intercept. Yamato will anchor at the formation center and provide heavy fire support. Follow my commands, trust your training, and we'll all go home alive. Yamato, prepare for combat operations. The Yamato's crew moved with practiced efficiency. Shima's hands danced across helm controls. Yuki coordinated fleet communications. Analyzer calculated firing solutions. Tokugawa monitored the wave motion engine's power levels, ready to channel energy to weapons on command. They're hailing us, Yuki reported. On screen. Baal appeared, an arrogant Goa'uld who'd survived the fall of the System Lords through cunning and ruthlessness. His face showed contempt mixed with curiosity. I am Baal, god of the skies. You command the new vessel that activated the ancient technology. Impressive. Surrender it now, and I will grant you swift deaths. Refuse, and I will make your suffering legendary. I'm Captain Susumu Kodai of the space battleship Yamato. We've fought false gods before. It never ends well for them. Leave now, or we'll demonstrate why Earth doesn't fear pretenders claiming divinity. Baal laughed. Such confidence. We shall see how long it lasts. Jaffa, Kree. The Hataks opened fire. Golden energy beams lanced across space toward the Yamato. The ship's point defense cannons engaged, intercepting some shots. Others struck the hull, scarring armor but not penetrating. The Yamato's designers had built her to withstand worse. Return fire, Kodai ordered. Main guns concentrate on the lead vessels. Show them what real firepower looks like. The Yamato's main artillery spoke, massive cannons firing rounds that weren't mere projectiles, but exotic matter-enhanced shells that hit with devastating force. A Hatak's shields flared, overloaded, and collapsed. The second volley punched through the hull, causing catastrophic internal explosions. One down, Analyzer reported. 36 remaining. Prometheus and Daedalus are engaging, Yuki added. F302s are running interference. Enemy fighters are launching. Death gliders, hundreds of them. Yamato point defense. Intercept enemy fighters. Helm, bring us about. I want firing solution on those clustered Hataks to port. Wave motion gun. Charge to 30%. Prepare for multiple targets. The battle became chaos. Death gliders swarmed the Yamato, their plasma cannons sparking off armor. F302s engaged in dogfights that would have been impossible in atmosphere, missiles and railguns trading with alien plasma. The Prometheus and Daedalus used Asgard transporters to beam nuclear warheads directly onto Hatak bridges, bypassing shields through sheer technological superiority. And the Yamato, anchoring the formation, fired again and again, each shot destroying or crippling enemy capital ships. Wave motion gun charged to 30%, Tokugawa reported. Ready to fire. Multiple targets, spread formation, fire. The Yamato's bow opened. Blue-white energy erupted, not at full power, but still devastating. The beam swept across 5 Hataks like a scythe through wheat. Shields meant nothing. Armor evaporated. The ships simply ceased to exist, atoms scattered across space. In the Goa'uld fleet, panic spread. What is that weapon? A Jaffa commander screamed over communications. "Our shields cannot stop it. We cannot—" His transmission ended as the Daedalus beamed a Mark 9 nuke onto his bridge. 16 enemy vessels destroyed, Analyzer calculated. 21 remaining. However, Captain, they are adapting, dispersing formation, making wave motion gun targeting more difficult. Then we adapt too. Helm, take us into the enemy formation. Close range. Make them too scared to shoot for fear of hitting each other. Captain, that's suicide, Shima protested. It's audacious. There's a difference. Do it. The Yamato accelerated directly toward the Hatak fleet, her armor absorbing hits, her guns never stopping. It was a tactic straight from World War II, close to knife-fighting range where size and firepower mattered more than maneuverability. O'Neill, watching from the Prometheus, shook his head in amazement. That crazy son of a bitch just drove a battleship into a knife fight. Carter, remind me never to play poker with him. Sir, the Yamato's taking heavy damage. Hull breaches on multiple decks. Casualties reported. Tell our fighters to support them, and get those Asgard beams ready for emergency evacuation if this goes south. But it wasn't going south. It was going exactly as Kodai planned. At close range, the Hataks couldn't maneuver without colliding, couldn't use their most powerful weapons without risking friendly fire, and the Yamato, built for ship-to-ship combat at ranges measured in meters as much as kilometers, tore through them. Main guns, secondary batteries, point defense cannons at maximum rate of fire. And when a Hatak tried to ram, the Yamato's armor held while the enemy ship crumpled like foil. 8 vessels remaining, Analyzer reported. They're attempting to retreat. Pursue, Kodai ordered. Don't let them escape to spread word about our capabilities. Prometheus, Daedalus, coordinate firing solutions. F302S, strafe their engines. We end this now. The battle's final phase was systematic extermination. The Hataks, designed to intimidate through their presence, were helpless against Earth's combined technology and tactical coordination. One by one, they fell. The last Hatak, containing Baal himself, made a desperate hyperspace jump. It failed. The Daedalus had used Asgard technology to scramble the local hyperspace field. Yamato, this is O'Neill. That's Baal's ship. We need him alive for interrogation. Can you disable without destroying? Kodai considered. Analyzer, targeting solution. They're hyperspace engines only. Surgical strike. Calculated, firing. A single shot from the Yamato's main guns struck the Hatak's engine section with precisely calibrated force. Enough to disable, not enough to destroy. The ship went dead in space. Asgard beaming technology activated, Thor's voice came through communications. We are extracting Baal from his ship now. The Gold System Lord will face justice for his crimes. Kodai allowed himself to relax slightly. All ships, cease fire. Battle concluded. Damage reports, casualty counts, and begin search and rescue for any survivors. Well done, everyone. We won. The Yamato's bridge crew cheered, tired, bloodied, but alive. They defended another Earth, faced another impossible fleet, and survived. Again. Captain, Yuki reported quietly. We lost 47 crew during the engagement. Medical is overwhelmed, and the wave motion engine, Tokugawa says it sustained damage, something about the dimensional transition weakening the exotic matter containment. He can stabilize it, but it's on borrowed time, Kodai finished, understanding immediately. The Yamato was dying, slowly but inevitably. The question was whether she'd survive long enough to matter. Get me Tokugawa and Dr. Sado. We need to assess how long we have. As Kodai dealt with the aftermath, O'Neill's face appeared on the communication screen. Captain, hell of a fight. Your ship just saved Earth. Again, technically, since you're from another Earth. Whatever. point is, you're officially the most badass thing in orbit, and General Landry wants to formally thank you. Also, probably give you a medal. We're big on medals. Colonel, we did what was necessary. No thanks needed. But, Kodai hesitated, your Earth welcomed us when you had every reason to fear us, trusted us when we were strangers, fought beside us when you could have left us to face this alone. So thank you for reminding us what humanity's supposed to be. United, strong, willing to help even those who aren't their own. That's what we do, Captain. Well, when we're not screwing it up bureaucratically. But yeah, that's the goal. Humanity working together, even across dimensional barriers. Speaking of which, Carter wants to talk to your engineer about that engine damage. Something about collaborating on repairs using ZPM technology. I'll have Tokugawa contact her. And Colonel, if your Earth ever needs the Yamato again for anything, we'll be there. That's a promise. I'll hold you to that, Captain. O'Neill out. The communication ended. Kodai looked at his crew, exhausted, wounded, but unbroken. Take us to Earth, he ordered. Both our Earths are safe today. Let's make sure they stay that way. The Yamato turned, her battered hull gleaming in reflected starlight, and headed toward the blue planet below. A planet that wasn't hers, but one she'd defend with her last breath. Because that's what the Yamato did. That's what she'd always done. Daniel Jackson stood before a holographic display showing ancient text that shouldn't exist, explaining a discovery that redefined everything they thought they knew about the ancients' final contingency plans. This is impossible, he said, which was how most of his presentations began. And yet here we are. The assembled group, SG-1, Yamato's command staff, General Landry, and Thor's hologram, waited for the revelation that would inevitably complicate their lives. When the Yamato activated the ancient beacon, Daniel continued, pulling up the translated text, we thought it was random, a cosmic accident. But Analyzer and I have been analyzing the data, and it's not random at all. The beacon is part of a network the ancients built before ascending, a fail-safe system. Fail-safe for what? Landry asked. For extinction-level threats that transcend single universes. The ancients, the Alterans, they didn't just explore our reality. They explored the multiverse, and they discovered that certain threats, the Ori, the Wraith, entities we haven't encountered yet, they exist across multiple realities simultaneously. Killing them in one universe doesn't stop them. They just retreat to alternate dimensions and rebuild. That's terrifying, Carter said. You're saying we can't actually win, just delay. Unless we coordinate across realities. The ancient beacon network is designed to detect extinction-level threats and call for help from universes where humanity survived similar crises. It's a cross-dimensional defense protocol. Kodai leaned forward. You're saying the beacon called us specifically? That we were chosen? Not chosen, summoned. The beacon detected the Ori invasion threat in this reality, scanned across dimensional barriers for universes where humanity faced and defeated existential extinction, and found yours. Your Earth survived the Gamilas, the Comet Empire, the Bolar Federation. You fought impossible wars and won. So the beacon reached out and your wave motion engine, which operates on exotic principles similar to ancient technology, answered the call. We're champions from another reality, Yuki said quietly, summoned to fight a war that isn't ours. It is yours now, Teal'c observed. You are here. The threat is real, and warriors do not abandon battles because they were conscripted rather than volunteering. He's right, Kodai agreed. But Daniel, if this beacon can call across realities, can it send us home? Is there a way back to our universe? Daniel's expression turned uncomfortable. Yes and no. The beacon can create dimensional bridges, but only under specific conditions. The Yamato's wave motion engine would need to discharge directly into a stargate tuned to your universe's quantum frequency. The energy release would be catastrophic, likely destroying the stargate and possibly the Yamato. And there's no guarantee it would work. Success probability is 47%, analyzer provided. However, Captain, there is a significant complication. The Stargate cannot be tuned to our universe's frequency while the dimensional rift remains open. And the rift is open. The tear we created when we jumped through it never fully sealed. It's small, currently stable, but growing. Within 6 months, it will become large enough for ships to transit, including Goa'uld vessels. You're saying our arrival created a backdoor into our universe? Shima asked, horrified. The Goa'uld could invade our Earth. Affirmative. And based on what we've learned of Goa'uld tactics, they would exploit this aggressively. An entire universe of humans to enslave, resources to exploit, and no Stargate network to oppose them. Our Earth would fall within years. The weight of that settled over the room. The Yamato crew had survived impossible odds, only to discover their survival might doom their home. We have to seal the rift, Kodai said immediately. Permanently. Whatever it takes. There's only one way, Carter said, pulling up her calculations. We'd need to discharge the wave motion engine at full power directly into the dimensional rift. The exotic matter release would collapse the tear, seal it permanently, and prevent any cross-dimensional transit. But the Yamato would be destroyed in the process, Tokugawa finished, his voice carrying the weight of understanding. The engine can't survive that kind of discharge. It's already damaged from the dimensional transition. One full power firing, especially into unstable dimensional space, would cause catastrophic containment failure. There has to be another way, O'Neill protested. We can't just ask you to blow up your ship. That's insane. It's necessary, Kodai replied, his voice calm despite the devastation of what he was accepting. The Yamato has always been about sacrifice. Captain Okita died saving Earth. My brother Mamoru died saving the Yamato. So thousands of crew members over 3 wars gave their lives so humanity could survive. This is just another sacrifice, a final one. Captain, no, Yuki said, her professional composure cracking. There must be alternatives. There aren't. Kodai stood, addressing his crew. I won't order this. I'm asking, volunteering. Anyone who wants to evacuate, to start new lives in this universe, you're free to go. No judgment, no dishonor. You've given enough. Silence. Then Shima spoke. I've been the Yamato's helmsman since the first voyage to Iskandar. I'll helm her last voyage too. I'll stay, Yuki added. Operations through the end. Engineering will keep the engines running until the moment they can't, Tokugawa said. Someone needs to monitor the doctor during his inevitable drinking, Dr. Sado observed, on taking a swig from his flask. Might as well be me. On the ship, during its final mission. One by one, the Yamato's crew, those present and those monitoring via communication, volunteered. Not out of obligation, out of love for a ship that had been home, family, and purpose for most of their adult lives. You're all insane, O'Neill said, but there was respect in his voice. And I'm not letting you do this alone. SG-1 will be there, providing support, because that's what allies do. As will the Asgard, Thor added. The Yamato's sacrifice to protect multiple universes deserves witness and honor. We will record this for our historical archives. Humanity should never forget. Landry stood. Captain Kodai, on behalf of Earth, this Earth, thank you for defending us, for being willing to give everything. We won't forget. And we'll make sure your crew is taken care of, those who survive, full citizenship, full support, whatever they need. Thank you, General. Now, Kodai became all business, compartmentalizing emotion to focus on mission. We need to plan. Sealing the rift will require precise timing, exact positioning, and coordination with the Stargate network. We'll have one shot. If we miss, the rift remains open and we lose the Yamato for nothing, Carter finished. Understood. I'll work with Tokugawa on the technical specifications. We'll need to calculate exotic matter discharge rates, dimensional resonance frequencies, and... She paused, noticing everyone staring at her. Sorry, I'm doing the science rambling thing again. No, keep doing it, Kodai said, because that rambling is how we survive. Or at least, how we make sure the sacrifice matters. Colonel Carter, you have full access to our systems. Make it work. I will, Captain. I promise. 3 weeks later, near the dimensional rift, final preparations. The Yamato floated in space near the rift, her hull scarred from battles, her crew reduced by casualties and voluntary evacuations. Only 300 remained of the original 1,000, skeleton crew plus volunteers who refused to leave. Kodai stood on the bridge watching the rift pulse on the view screen. It had grown, significantly. Another month and ships could transit. Another year and fleets could invade. All systems ready, Tokugawa reported from engineering. Wave motion engine charged to maximum. Exotic matter containment is holding, but barely. When we fire, Captain, the engine will achieve maybe 15 seconds of sustained output before catastrophic failure. We'll need to be precise. The Stargate is in position, Carter's voice came through from the Prometheus, orbiting nearby. We've tuned it to dimensional frequency 0 Delta 37, which should resonate with the rift's quantum signature. When the wave motion gun fires, the energy will channel through the Stargate, amplify, and cascade through the dimensional barrier. It'll seal the rift permanently. And the Yamato. A pause. The containment failure will be spectacular, Captain. The ship will essentially become a brief star. Anyone still aboard will be vaporized instantly. Painless. Quick. But absolute, I'm sorry. Don't be. We knew the cost. Is the evacuation complete? All non-essential personnel have been beamed to the Prometheus and Daedalus. The only people left are your bridge crew and essential engineering staff. About 30 people total. Captain, it's not too late. We can beam you out right before firing. No. Yamato's captain stays with his ship. That's tradition. That's honor. We fire in 10 minutes. Be ready to record. The multiverse should know what the Yamato was, what she did, and what she gave. The channel closed. Kodai looked at his crew. Shima at the helm, Yuki at operations, Analyzer at tactical, Dr. Sato in the medical bay maintaining calm through alcohol, Tokugawa in engineering preparing for controlled self-destruction. Any regrets? Kodai asked quietly. None, Shima replied. I've lived a life most people can't imagine. Traveled 148,000 light years. I fought impossible enemies, saved Earth multiple times, and I did it from this chair, helming the greatest ship humanity ever built. That's enough. I watched my homeworld burn, Yuki added, saw billions die, and then watched humanity rebuild, stronger, because we refused to surrender. The Yamato is that refusal made manifest, ending our journey by saving 2 universes. That's poetry. I am a robot, Analyzer stated. I do not experience regret. However, I calculate that serving aboard this vessel has been the optimal outcome of my existence. Probability of preferring an alternate timeline, 0%. The doctor is drunk, Sato's voice came through. But the doctor is always drunk, and the doctor has no regrets. Well, maybe one. Should have brought better sake for the apocalypse. But otherwise, no. This is a good death. Meaningful. Better than most people get. Kodai smiled, tears threatening but held back by command discipline. Then let's do what we came here to do. Helm, position us at exact coordinates. Operations, final system check. Tactical, confirm firing solution. Engineering, bring the wave motion engine to full power. This is the Yamato's last voyage. Let's make it count. The Yamato moved into position, her ancient hull gleaming, her weapons primed, her crew ready. On the Prometheus, O'Neill watched with SG-1, his usual irreverence replaced by solemn respect. "They're really doing it," Daniel said quietly, "sacrificing everything to protect people they barely know." "That's what heroes do," Teal'c replied. "They give what others cannot." Captain Kodai and his crew have earned a place in the legends of all peoples. Their sacrifice will be remembered. Recording all data, Thor confirmed. The Asgard will ensure this moment is preserved. Future generations will know what the Yamato was, what she achieved, and what she gave. Carter's hands trembled as she monitored the technical readings. Wave motion engine at full charge. Dimensional rift is stable. Stargate is locked to correct frequency. All systems green. They're ready. "Captain Kodai," Landry's voice came through, transmitting from Stargate Command. "On behalf of Earth and the United States Air Force and humanity, thank you. Your sacrifice will not be forgotten. You and your crew will be honored as Earth's defenders. Both Earths, for all time." Kodai's voice replied, steady and calm. "General, it's been an honor. Tell your Earth. Tell them the Yamato came. Tell them we fought. Tell them we won. And tell them that somewhere, across dimensional barriers, another Earth is still fighting, still surviving, still hoping. Because that's what humanity does. We endure. Yamato, out." The communication channel closed. On the Yamato's bridge, Kodai took one last look at his crew, his family. The people who'd followed him through impossible wars, trusted his judgment, believed in his command. "Helm, maintain position. Operations, open all channels. Tactical, prepare wave motion gun for final discharge." And he paused, emotion breaking through just slightly. "All hands, it's been my honor commanding you. Captain Okita would be proud. I'm proud. Thank you for giving me purpose. Thank you for being the best crew in any universe. And thank you for being my family." "Sir," Yuki said, tears streaming down her face. "Thank you for being our captain." "Fire when ready," Kodai ordered. The Yamato's bow opened. Energy gathered. Not partial charge, not tactical level, but full power. Everything the wave motion engine could generate. The ship's lights dimmed as every system channeled power to the weapon. The hull groaned under the stress. Exotic matter fluctuations threatened to tear the ship apart before firing. But the engine held. One last time. For one last shot. Wave motion gun. Fire! The beam erupted. Not blue-white this time, but brilliant gold. Exotic matter pushed beyond normal parameters. Energy sufficient to vaporize stars, compressed and directed into a meter-wide stream of pure destructive force. The beam struck the Stargate. For a moment, nothing happened. Then the Stargate activated, not in its normal blue event horizon, but in cascading golden light that expanded, grew, and channeled the wave motion energy directly into the dimensional rift. The rift screamed, reality tore, and then healed. The dimensional barrier between universes sealed, not just at this point, but across the entire multiversal boundary. The Ancient's failsafe, activated by human sacrifice, closed the door permanently. No more invasions. No more cross-dimensional threats. Two universes separated forever, protected by the Yamato's final act. And on the Yamato, the containment failed. The wave motion engine, pushed beyond its absolute limits, lost cohesion. Exotic matter escaped containment in a cascading release that would have been catastrophic anywhere near inhabited space. But here, in the void, with only allies to witness, it was beautiful. The Yamato didn't explode. She transformed. Her hull became light, her systems became energy. Her crew became part of the wave motion continuum, their consciousness spreading into the exotic matter release, merging with the dimensional fabric itself. And for just a moment before the end, Captain Kodai saw him. Captain Okita, standing on the bridge, younger, healthier, whole. "Well done, Kodai," Okita said, his voice warm with pride. "You saved Earth. Again. Both Earths. You're a fine captain, the best. And now," he gestured at the growing light, "you join the Yamato's legacy. All who sacrificed aboard her, all who gave everything. We're here, waiting. Welcome home." "Okita-sensei," Kodai whispered, Did we do enough?" "You did everything, and more. Rest now, Captain. You've earned it." The light consumed everything, and the Yamato was gone. The structure hung in space where the Yamato had been, a monument and a power station built from the exotic matter remnants of the ship's final moments. The wave motion engine's death had created a stable energy field that now powered the entire Stargate network in this sector, making the memorial functional as well as symbolic. Colonel Samantha Carter stood in the observation deck, looking at the central monument, a massive holographic display showing the Yamato in full glory, rotating slowly, inscribed with the names of every crew member who'd died in the final voyage. She wasn't alone. Daisuke Shima stood beside her, wearing a Daedalus flight uniform. He'd become the BC-304's chief helmsman, his skills making him invaluable. Other Yamato survivors had integrated similarly. Yuki Mori served on Atlantis, coordinating operations. Dr. Sato worked at Stargate Command, his philosophical medical approach saving lives. Dozens more spread across Earth's defense network, sharing knowledge, building bridges between reality's technologies. "It still doesn't feel real," Shima said quietly, "that they're gone, that the Yamato is gone. I keep expecting orders, keep reaching for controls that aren't there." "They saved 2 universes," Carter replied. "The dimensional rift is permanently sealed. The Goa'uld can't exploit it. Your Earth is safe from our threats. Our Earth is safe from yours. That's," she struggled for words, "that's the biggest save in history, multiple histories." Captain Kodai would say it was just duty, just another mission. He never accepted praise well. Then we'll remember for him, and for all of them. The memorial station had become a pilgrimage site. Earth's military personnel visited to pay respects. Civilians came to see the ship that saved them, and from across the galaxy, allies arrived to honor warriors who'd fought for people not their own. The Asgard had placed a monument in their own archives. The Tok'ra sang songs of the Yamato's sacrifice. Even the Jaffa-Free Nation, normally suspicious of Tauri, acknowledged the honor in what the Yamato's crew had done. "Colonel Carter," Daniel's voice came through her calm, "you're needed in the briefing room. General Landry has news about the Ori front. Apparently, the ancient beacon network is still active, and it's calling for help again, from another universe. Something about..." He paused, checking notes. "A ship called Arcadia. We don't have details yet, but it sounds like another interdimensional refugee situation. And General Landry wants your input on whether we can trust them." Carter smiled slightly. "Tell him I'll be right there. And Daniel, if they're anything like the Yamato, we'll definitely want them on our side." "That's what I figured. See you in 10. The calm closed. Carter took one last look at the Yamato Memorial, this ship from another reality that had become Earth's greatest defender. "Thank you," she said quietly. "For everything, for showing us what humanity can be when we refuse to surrender, for proving that honor and sacrifice aren't just words, and for reminding us that sometimes the bravest thing you can do is give everything for people who aren't even your own. She saluted, formal, respectful, heartfelt, then turned and left, heading toward the briefing room, toward whatever new impossible situation awaited. Because that's what Stargate personnel did. That's what the Yamato had taught them. You face the impossible, you do what's necessary, and you never ever stop fighting for humanity. Any humanity, every humanity, across all the universes that might exist. In the space between universes where physics broke down and quantum probability became fluid, something existed that shouldn't. A ship, or the echo of a ship, or the soul of a ship, if ships could have souls. The Yamato sailed through impossible geometries, her crew still aboard, still serving, still protecting. Not alive in the conventional sense, not dead either. Something between, something new. Captain Kodai stood at his station, understanding now what had happened. The wave motion engine's final release hadn't destroyed them. It had transcended them, merged their consciousness with the exotic matter that powered the ship, creating a new form of existence. They were the Yamato now, literally. The ship and crew, unified, eternal, watching over the dimensional barriers they'd died to seal. "Captain," Analyzer said, his voice now carrying warmth that robotics shouldn't possess. "I'm detecting disturbances in adjacent realities, threats emerging, extinction-level events in multiple timelines. The ancient beacon network is calling for help." "Then we answer," Kodai replied. "That's what we do. That's what we'll always do. The Yamato protects humanity, any humanity, every humanity, across all realities. That's our purpose now." "For how long?" Yuki asked. "Forever," Kodai said simply. "Or until there's no more humanity to protect. Helm, take us to the next crisis. Wherever it is. Whatever it is, the Yamato will be there, because that's what we promised. That's what we are." The Yamato turned, her impossible hull gleaming with light that existed between wavelengths, and sailed toward distant realities where humanity fought and bled and died. And wherever they fought, whenever they needed help, the Yamato would answer. A ghost ship from another universe, a legend that transcended dimensions, a promise that humanity, no matter which version, would never face extinction alone. Because the Yamato sailed eternal, protecting, defending, sacrificing, forever. Stargate Command, Advanced Weapons Development, Area 51. Dr. Samantha Carter stood in a hangar that shouldn't exist, looking at a ship that redefined everything humanity thought possible. The SGC Kodai hung suspended in anti-gravity clamps, humanity's first wave-motion-capable warship. Not a copy of the Yamato. Something new, a fusion of ancient technology, Asgard engineering, and the principles Tokugawa had shared before the Yamato's final voyage. "It's beautiful," Hikozaemon Tokugawa said from beside her, his hair grayer now, his face more lined, but his eyes still carrying the fire of an engineer who refused to accept impossible as an answer. Not the Yamato, but her spiritual successor, a child of two Earth's technologies. "We couldn't have built this without your help," Carter replied. "The wave motion principles, on the exotic matter containment, you would have figured it out eventually. I just saved you 20 years of trial and error, and several catastrophic explosions. You're welcome for that, by the way." Carter smiled. Over the past 5 years, Tokugawa had become more than a colleague. He was a mentor, a friend, and the closest thing to a living connection to the Yamato that remained. "When do we test fire the main gun?" "Next week, assuming the IOA stops complaining about planet-killing weapons in Earth's arsenal. As if the Ori ships aren't planet killers themselves. Speaking of which," Carter pulled up a holographic display. "The Ori have been quiet lately. Too quiet. Intelligence suggests they're massing forces for a major offensive. If they hit Earth directly, the Kodai will be ready. Her wave motion gun won't match the original Yamato's output, but she'll be close. And with Asgard shields, ancient sensors, and human stubbornness, she'll be formidable. Formidable enough to stop a dozen Ori warships? No, but formidable enough to buy time for evacuation. Formidable enough to make them pay for every meter of space. That's what the Yamato taught us. You don't have to win every battle. You just have to refuse to lose. A calm chime interrupted. General Landry's voice. Colonel Carter, Chief Engineer Tokugawa, please report to the briefing room immediately. We have a situation. They exchanged glances. In Stargate Command, situation was code for everything's about to go to hell. Briefing room Alpha. 10 minutes later, the room was packed. SG-1, Yamato survivors, Asgard representatives, and someone Carter didn't recognize. A young woman in a Daedalus uniform with the insignia of a helmsman. People, Landry began without preamble. We've detected another dimensional anomaly. Same quantum signature as the event that brought the Yamato here 5 years ago. But this time it's not random. It's controlled. Someone is deliberately opening a rift between universes. The Gamilas? Tokugawa asked immediately, tension in his voice. Did they find a way through? We don't think so. The energy signature is different. Not Gamilas, not Ori, not anything in our database, but it's powerful, and it's broadcasting coordinates, an invitation, or a challenge. Daniel leaned forward, his archaeologist's mind already working. An invitation to what? Another universe? Another Earth? Unknown? But here's where it gets interesting. Landry pulled up a star chart showing a location deep in uncharted space. The rift is opening near the Yamato Memorial Station, exactly where the original dimensional barrier was sealed. It's like someone is specifically trying to contact us, or contact them. He gestured at the Yamato survivors. Shima, now the Daedalus's chief helmsman, wearing the rank of major, spoke up. General, the Yamato sealed that barrier permanently. If someone's opening it again, then they're using technology that can override ancient safeguards, which is terrifying. Dr. Jackson, what do we know about cross-dimensional communication? Not much. The ancients built the beacon network, but they never intended it to facilitate two-way transit. It was designed to call for help, not allow visitors. If someone's managed to reverse engineer the process, they're either incredibly advanced or incredibly desperate, Carter finished. General, we need to investigate. If this is a new threat, we need to know. If it's an opportunity, we definitely need to know, which is why I'm authorizing a reconnaissance mission. The Prometheus will take SG-1 and a team of Yamato survivors to the coordinates. Make contact, assess the threat level, and report back. Do not, I repeat, do not engage unless fired upon. We have no idea what we're dealing with. Understood, sir, O'Neill replied. Though in my experience, do not engage usually means prepare to engage in about 15 minutes. Just saying. Colonel, for once in your career, try not to start an interdimensional incident. No promises, sir. It's kind of my thing. USS Prometheus en route to coordinates. 6 hours later, the Prometheus dropped out of hyperspace at the edge of the dimensional anomaly, and every sensor immediately went haywire. I'm reading spatial distortions, Carter reported from her station. Quantum fluctuations, exotic matter signatures consistent with wave motion technology, and... She paused, her expression shifting from scientific curiosity to shock. General, there's a ship out there, a big one, and its configuration is familiar. The view screen adjusted, filtering out the dimensional interference. And there she was, a battleship, sleek, powerful, unmistakably built with the same design philosophy as the Yamato, but different, larger, more advanced, and broadcasting on all frequencies. This is Captain Yuki Mori of the space battleship Yamato 2, representing Earth Defense Force Fleet Command from Universe Delta 7. We detected the dimensional seal and the residual exotic matter signatures. We've come to pay respects to our fallen comrades and to deliver a message. Please respond on standard military frequencies. We mean no harm. Silence on the Prometheus bridge. Then Shima whispered, "Yuki, Captain Yuki Mori." "It can't be," Tokugawa said, but his voice carried hope rather than denial. "Our Yuki died with the Yamato. Unless in another universe she survived," Daniel finished. "Another timeline where the Yamato returned home, where the crew lived, where they built new ships, trained new captains, and," he looked at the image on the view screen, "where Yuki Mori became a captain in her own right." O'Neill activated communications. "Yamato 2. This is Colonel Jack O'Neill of the Earth ship Prometheus. We read you, and we have some of your counterparts aboard, survivors from a Yamato that sacrificed itself to seal the dimensional rift 5 years ago. They're very interested in meeting you." A pause. Then, "Counterparts from another timeline. Colonel, we'd very much like to speak with them, and to learn what happened here. Our universe detected the dimensional seal and the exotic matter burst. We've spent 5 years analyzing it, trying to understand. When we finally opened a communication channel, you found us, or we found you. Interdimensional semantics. Can we arrange a face-to-face? I'm told the Yamato survivors we have could use some closure and answers." "Agreed. We're transmitting coordinates for a neutral meeting point, Yamato 2 out." The channel closed. Shima stood abruptly. I need a minute." "Take all the time you need, Major," Landry's voice came through from Earth. "This is unprecedented, meeting versions of your dead friends from another reality. No one's going to judge if you need to process." "Sir, permission to join the meeting party." "Granted." "Major Shima, Chief Engineer Tokugawa, Dr. Sado." The Yamato's former doctor had been monitoring from Medical Bay. "You're all authorized to represent Earth at this contact. Show them what their sacrifice meant. And maybe," Landry's voice softened, "find some peace." Neutral space, the meeting. The conference room aboard the Yamato Town was achingly familiar to the survivors. The same layout, the same aesthetic, but newer, cleaner, carrying the weight of ongoing service rather than memorial. And sitting across the table, their dead friends. Alive, older, different, but unmistakably the people they'd watched die 5 years ago. Captain Yuki Mori, this universe's version, looked at Tokugawa with professional respect. "Chief Engineer, I understand you served aboard the original Yamato, the one that sealed the dimensional rift." "I did. And you were Operations Officer, one of the finest." Tokugawa's voice caught. "She stayed aboard for the final mission, refused evacuation, died with honor. In our universe, I survived the wars, trained at the academy, took command of the Yamato 2 when it was commissioned. We've been exploring, defending, preventing the mistakes of the past. But we've always wondered, the dimensional seal we detected, the energy burst, we knew it was a Yamato. We just didn't know which one. Or from where?" Shima leaned forward. "Captain Mori, in our universe, our original universe before we jumped here, the Yamato made multiple voyages, saved Earth repeatedly, and the crew," he gestured at himself and Tokugawa, "we were family, more than crew. Family. Losing them was..." He couldn't finish. Another familiar face at the table spoke, an older Daisuke Shima, this universe's version, wearing the rank of Admiral. "I understand. In our timeline, we've lost crew too. Friends, family. Every battle, every mission, someone doesn't come home. That's the burden of serving aboard the Yamato. But the ship endures, the mission continues, and the sacrifices, he met his counterpart's eyes, they matter, they always matter. Daniel, ever the diplomat, interjected, Captain Mori, Admiral Shima, why did you come here? See, why risk opening the dimensional barrier that your counterparts died to seal? Because we detected something, Captain Mori replied, pulling up holographic displays. A pattern. The dimensional beacon network, the Ancients' failsafe system, it's activating across multiple realities, calling for help, summoning champions. We wanted to warn you, something's coming, something that threatens multiple universes simultaneously, and humanity, all humanities across all realities, will need to fight together. What kind of threat? Carter asked, her scientific mind immediately engaged. We don't have specifics, just energy signatures, massive, hostile, and spreading across dimensional barriers like a virus. The Ancients built their network because they knew this would happen eventually, a threat so vast that single universes couldn't defeat it. So they prepared for it. And now it's here, O'Neill finished. Great, just great. Because regular galaxy-threatening crises weren't enough. Now we've got multiverse-threatening crises. Anyone else feel like the universe is just screwing with us at this point? The universe is indifferent to our suffering, Colonel O'Neill, this universe's Dr. Sado said, taking a drink from his own flask. Apparently, some things were universal constants. But humanity is not. We care. We fight. We sacrifice. That's what makes us stronger than the universe's indifference, and why we'll survive. Tokugawa looked at this other Yuki Mori, his friend, alive but not his friend, familiar but foreign. Captain, our Yamato sealed the barrier to protect both universes. If we're opening it again, if we're coordinating across realities, are we undoing their sacrifice? No, Captain Mori said firmly. You're honoring it. They sealed the barrier to prevent invasion, to protect the innocent. Now we're opening controlled channels to coordinate defense. That's not betrayal. That's evolution. They saved our universes. Now we save theirs. All of them. How many universes are we talking about? Carter asked. The ancient beacon network spans at least 50 documented realities. Possibly hundreds, each with its own version of humanity, each facing threats, each needing allies. If we can coordinate, if we can share technology, tactics, intelligence, we might actually win. Or we might doom ourselves by creating targets, O'Neill countered. If these multiversal bad guys know where all the human universes are, then they attack systematically, one by one, until we're all extinct, Daniel said. Unless we stand together, coordinate, fight as one species across multiple realities. Silence as the implications settled. Then Shima, Earth's version, spoke. The Yamato gave everything to protect one universe. If we can honor that sacrifice by protecting all universes, by ensuring no more Yamatos have to make that choice, then we do it. We build the alliance, we fight together, and maybe, he looked at his counterpart, at his dead captain wearing another face, maybe we save everyone this time. Admiral Shima nodded. Then we're agreed. We'll coordinate with your Earth, share technology, prepare defenses, and when the threat arrives, and it will arrive, humanity will be ready. All humanities, united across dimensional barriers. There's poetry in that, Dr. Sado observed. The Yamato's final mission, creating the foundation for humanity's multiverse alliance. Captain Kodai would approve. He always said the ship's purpose was to protect humanity, not just one Earth. Humanity itself, across all possible Earths. Captain Mori stood, came around the table, and approached Tokugawa. "Chief Engineer, in my universe, you're a legend. The man who built the impossible. The engineer who kept the Yamato flying through battles that should have destroyed her. I grew up hearing stories, and now," she extended her hand, "I get to meet you. Thank you for everything you did, for everyone you saved." Tokugawa took her hand, tears streaming down his weathered face. "Captain Mori, in our universe, you were one of the finest officers I ever served with. Brave, brilliant, loyal to the end. Seeing you here, seeing you alive, thriving, commanding, it's..." His voice broke. "It's everything I needed. Thank you." They embraced, not as counterparts, but as families separated by dimensional barriers and reunited through cosmic accident. Around the table, others followed. Shima meeting Admiral Shima, Dr. Sado comparing flasks with Dr. Sado, crew meeting crew, survivors meeting the living echoes of their dead friends and realizing that the Yamato sacrifice hadn't ended anything. It had begun something, a legacy that transcended universes, a promise that humanity, any humanity, every humanity, would never stand alone. Yamato Memorial Station. 3 days later. The dedication ceremony drew representatives from across the galaxy and now, thanks to controlled dimensional channels across realities. The SGC Kodai hung in formation with the Yamato II, both ships positioned to honor the memorial station where their predecessor had made her final stand. General Landry spoke to the assembled crowd, military personnel, civilians, alien allies, and now visitors from parallel Earths. 5 years ago, the space battleship Yamato sacrificed herself to save 2 universes. Her crew gave everything, not for glory, not for recognition, but because it was necessary, because protecting humanity was their purpose, their calling, their reason for existence. Today, we honor that sacrifice by expanding their legacy. The Yamato didn't just save us. She showed us what's possible when we refuse to surrender, when we stand together, when we give everything for the future. Her crew is gone, but their spirit endures in every ship we build, in every battle we fight, in every life we protect. And now, he gestured at the Yamato too, at the representatives from other realities. In every alliance we forge across dimensional barriers, the Yamato taught us that humanity is stronger than we know, braver than we believe, and more unified than any force trying to divide us. So we remember, we honor, and we continue the mission, to boldly explore, to fiercely protect, to never surrender. That is the Yamato's legacy, and it will endure forever. The ships fired a salute, energy weapons pointed at the stars, firing harmlessly into space. A traditional gesture, a statement of power and respect. And on the memorial station, the holographic Yamato rotated, her crew's names displayed, their sacrifice immortalized. Somewhere, in the space between dimensions, Captain Susumu Kodai watched and smiled. The mission continued, the fight endured, and the Yamato sailed eternal. Across all realities, forever defending, forever remembered, forever home. The Crucible shouldn't exist. A space station constructed in the quantum foam between realities, anchored to no single universe, but accessible from 57 documented parallel Earths. Built using combined technologies from dozens of human civilizations, ancient gates, wave motion engines, Asgard beaming, technologies from realities the Stargate universe had never imagined. And today it hosted something unprecedented. A war council of humanities. Admiral Samantha Carter, promoted after leading Earth's defense forces through the Ori crisis, stood at the central platform, looking at holographic representatives from across the multiverse, each one human, each one from an Earth that had survived its own apocalypse, each one carrying scars from battles fought and won. "Thank you all for coming," Carter began. Her voice transmitted across dimensional channels to 57 realities simultaneously. 10 years ago, the space battleship Yamato sacrificed herself to seal a dimensional rift and protect 2 universes. That sacrifice created this. She gestured at the Crucible, the foundation for cooperation across realities. Today, we face the threat the ancients warned about, the reason they built the beacon network, and the reason we must fight together or die separately. A holographic display activated, showing a region of space that existed in multiple dimensions simultaneously, and within it, ships. Thousands of them. Millions. A fleet that dwarfed anything any single universe had encountered. "The Harvesters," Carter continued, her voice grim. "We don't know where they come from. We don't know what they want beyond consuming everything. But we know what they do. They move through dimensional barriers, stripping entire universes of matter and energy. They've already consumed 16 documented realities, 16 Earths, 16 humanities. Gone. Completely." Murmurs rippled through the assembled representatives. Captain Yuki Mori, representing the Yamato Tsu's universe, spoke up. "Admiral Carter, our analysts project the Harvesters will reach critical mass within 6 months. Once they've consumed enough exotic matter from dimensional transitions, they'll be able to open rifts at will, attack multiple universes simultaneously. At that point, we can't win," General Hank Landry finished. He'd aged considerably, his hair completely gray, but his tactical mind remained sharp. "We have 6 months to unite, coordinate, and strike before they become unstoppable. Which is why we're proposing Operation Yamato's Thunder." The display shifted, showing a battle plan of staggering complexity. "We build a fleet," Carter explained. "Ships from every reality. Wave-motion battleships, Stargate-equipped cruisers, vessels using technologies we haven't even classified yet. We combine our best weapons, our best tactics, our best warriors, and we hit the Harvesters with everything we have, all at once, across multiple dimensional fronts." "You're proposing a multiverse-scale military operation," a representative from Earth-23 said. "A reality where humanity had achieved faster-than-light travel through quantum tunneling. The logistics alone are handled," Hikozaemon Tokugawa interrupted. Now in his 70s, but still brilliant, he'd become the Crucible's chief engineer. "We've spent 10 years preparing for this, building dimensional transit gates, training combined forces, developing weapons that can hurt these things. It's not perfect, but it's possible." "What's the casualty projection?" asked Admiral Shima, the counterpart from Yamato the Lagan's universe, now commanding their entire dimensional defense fleet. Silence. Then Daniel Jackson, now serving as the Crucible's chief diplomatic officer, spoke quietly. 93% of ships, of crews, of everything we commit. The Harvesters are that powerful, that numerous. We go in knowing most of us won't come back. "Then why go at all?" someone asked. "Because if we don't, 100% die," Carter replied. "Every human in every universe. This isn't about winning, it's about survival. See, about buying time for the next generation to find better solutions, about refusing to go quietly into extinction. It's about being the Yamato," Dr. Sakezo Sado said from his seat. Now ancient, barely mobile, but still sharp enough to serve as medical advisor. The ship that refused to surrender. The crew that gave everything. We honor their memory by doing what they did, fighting impossible odds because the alternative is unacceptable. The display shifted again, showing ship designs. The SGC Kodai, now the flagship of Earth's wave motion fleet. The Yamato II, upgraded with hybrid technologies, and dozens of others, each representing a different Earth's technological pinnacle. We have the ships, Landry said. We have the weapons. We have the coordination. The question is, do we have the will? Will your Earths commit to this? Will you send your people into a battle we're almost certain to lose? One by one, the representatives responded. Earth 7 commits. Our wave motion fleet stands ready. Earth 23 commits. Quantum tunnel ships are being prepared. Earth 31 commits. We fought extinction before. We'll fight it again. Down the line, every Earth pledged forces, ships, lives, everything they could spare and more, because that's what humanity did. When faced with extinction, they fought. Deep space, dimensional barrier zone, the fleet assembles. The combined fleet was magnificent and terrifying. 700 ships from 57 realities, wave motion battleships, Stargate cruisers, ancient technology warships, vessels using principles that violated physics in creative and dangerous ways. All unified under a single banner: humanity's refusal to die quietly. Major Daisuke Shima, promoted for his exceptional piloting skills, stood on the bridge of the SGC Kodai, looking at the tactical display showing the armada. It's beautiful, he said quietly to Commander Teal'c, who'd volunteered to serve aboard the Kodai for the final battle. All these humanities, all these versions of Earth, united for the first time, because of the Yamato. Indeed, Teal'c replied, the Yamato's sacrifice created this possibility. Now we must prove worthy of that sacrifice by surviving or by dying with equal honor. No pressure? Considerable pressure, but warriors perform best under pressure. It is our nature. The calm activated. Admiral Carter's voice. All ships, this is Fleet Command. We jump in 30 minutes. Final system checks. Our final goodbyes, and final preparations. What we're about to do has never been attempted. Coordinated assault across 57 dimensional fronts simultaneously. If we succeed, we cripple the harvesters and buy decades for our civilizations to prepare better defenses. If we fail, she didn't finish. She didn't need to. I have served aboard many vessels, Teal'c said, fought many battles, but I have never been prouder than to stand with this crew, with this fleet, with all humanities united. Whatever happens, we have already achieved something remarkable. Yeah, Shima agreed. We've proven we can work together, across dimensions, across differences. That's pretty damn remarkable. In the engineering section, Tokugawa made final adjustments to the wave motion core, now enhanced with technologies from a dozen realities. Beside him, engineers from Yamato 2, from Earth 23, from realities that had no names, only numbers. This is it, Tokugawa said to his counterpart, a younger engineer from Earth 31 who'd studied Tokugawa's designs and improved them. Everything we've built, everything we've learned, all focused on one moment, one battle. Do you think we'll win? The younger engineer asked. I think we'll fight. That's all anyone can do. Fight with everything you have and hope it's enough. And if it's not, then we fought anyway, and that matters. It always matters. In the medical bay, Dr. Sado, too old to serve actively but refusing to stay behind, prepared for mass casualties. Beside him, doctors from across the multiverse, all human, all committed. I'm too old for this, Sado muttered, checking supplies. You are ancient, his counterpart from Earth 7 agreed. But you are the Yamato's doctor. Your presence gives courage. Symbols matter in war. I'm a symbol now? Wonderful. I always wanted to be symbolically useful while being medically obsolete. You're neither obsolete nor useless. You're experienced, and in a battle, this chaotic experience saves lives. Throughout the fleet, similar conversations played out. Veterans and rookies, humans from different realities finding common ground, preparing for the battle that would define the multiverse's future. And in the space between dimensions, the echo of the Yamato, the consciousness that had transcended death, watched and waited. Captain Kodai's voice whispered across quantum channels only certain people could hear. "You're ready. All of you. You've trained, you've prepared. And you carry the Yamato spirit, the refusal to surrender. See the willingness to sacrifice, the determination to protect humanity at any cost. We're with you. All of us who died aboard the original Yamato. We're here, fighting beside you. Always." The fleet jumped, 700 ships transitioning across 57 dimensional barriers simultaneously, toward the harvesters, toward battle, toward the greatest test humanity had ever faced, the battle, dimensional combat zone. The harvesters were waiting, massive, organic mechanical hybrids that existed partially in multiple dimensions simultaneously. Their weapons didn't just destroy matter, they erased it from multiple realities at once, making recovery impossible. They numbered in the millions, against 700 human ships. "All vessels, weapons free," Carter's voice rang across all channels. "Coordinate fire by dimensional sector. Wave motion ships, you're our heavy hitters. Everyone else, screen and support. And remember, we're not just fighting for our universes, we're fighting for every human who'll ever exist. Make it count." The SGC Kodai fired first. Her wave motion gun, enhanced by technologies from a dozen realities, unleashed a beam of exotic energy that existed across 3 dimensions simultaneously. It struck a harvester cluster, and for the first time in the battle, the enemy took damage. Real damage. "It's working," Shima called from the helm. "They can be hurt. They can be killed." "Then we kill them," Teal'c said calmly, coordinating weapons fire. Systematically, efficiently, without mercy. The Yamato too joined the assault, her wave motion gun singing the same deadly song. Other wave motion ships followed, vessels built in the Yamato's image, carrying her legacy, fighting with her spirit. But the harvesters adapted. Their weapons shifted frequencies, their defenses reconfigured, and they began targeting the wave motion ships specifically, recognizing them as the primary threat. "We're taking heavy fire," a ship from Earth 12 reported. "Shields failing. We're—" The transmission ended in static. The ship's icon on the tactical display went dark. Then another and another. The casualties mounted impossibly fast. "All wave motion vessels, evasive pattern delta," Carter ordered. "Don't give them stationary targets. Keep moving. Keep firing. We knew this would be hard." The Kodai twisted through space, Shimi's piloting keeping them ahead of harvester weapons by fractions of seconds. The ship's armor took hits, scarred and burned, but held. Engineering. "I need more power to weapons," Carter called. "You've got everything I can give," Tokugawa's voice came back. "The core is at maximum. Push harder and we'll tear ourselves apart." "Then we push harder anyway. That's what the Yamato would do." The battle became chaos. Ships from 57 realities fighting in 57 dimensional sectors simultaneously, all coordinated through quantum-entangled communication networks that barely held under the strain. Casualties mounted to horrific levels, 40% within the first hour, 60% within 2 hours. But humanity didn't break. They fought, adapted, coordinated, and slowly, impossibly, started winning. The harvesters, designed to fight single-universe threats, couldn't coordinate defenses across multiple dimensions. Human ships could. So, using ancient gate technology and wave motion principles, they flanked across dimensional barriers, hit the harvesters from angles that didn't exist in conventional space. "They're retreating," someone called over the comm. "Sector 7 reports enemy withdrawal." "Confirm that," Carter demanded. "Confirmed. Harvesters are pulling back in multiple sectors. We're pushing them back." For the first time in the battle, hope emerged. Not victory, not yet, but the possibility of victory. The chance that humanity, all humanities, might actually survive. And then the Harvester command vessel arrived. It was massive beyond comprehension. A construct that existed across all dimensions simultaneously, coordinating the entire Harvester fleet. And it began systematically destroying human ships, one after another, with weapons that couldn't be dodged or deflected. All ships, priority target, Carter ordered. Concentrate fire on that command vessel. Everything we have, now. 700 ships, now less than 300 after devastating casualties, turned their weapons on a single target. Wave motion guns, ancient weapons, quantum disruptors, everything humanity had built or discovered or stolen from more advanced races. The combined firepower would have destroyed a star. It barely scratched the command vessel's shields. "It's not working," Tokugawa reported. "The shields are regenerating faster than we can damage them. We can't—" "Then we use the Yamato protocol," Carter interrupted. Silence on the command channel. Everyone knew what that meant. "Admiral, no," Shima protested. "The Yamato protocol requires a ship to overload its wave motion core and ram the target. I know. I designed the protocol, and I'm authorizing it now. Any ship willing to volunteer." "SGC Kodai volunteers," Shima said immediately. "Negative. Your flagship. We need you for—" "Admiral, with respect, the Kodai is named after Captain Susumu Kodai, the man who sacrificed the Yamato to save multiple universes. This ship was built to honor that legacy. Let us complete it. Let us do what the Yamato did. One last time." Carter was silent, processing the weight of the decision. Then, "Authorized. Kodai, prepare for terminal ramming maneuver. All other ships, provide cover fire. Get them as close as possible." "Understood. Helm, set course for the command vessel. Engineering, overload the wave motion core. Medical, evacuate all non-essential personnel to support ships." "Captain Shima," Dr. Sato's voice came through. "I'm staying. Someone needs to monitor the medical bay. Might as well be an old man who's lived too long anyway." "Doctor, don't argue with me, boy. I'm older than you and significantly more stubborn. Now fly this ship into that bastard and let's end this war." Throughout the Kodai, the crew made the same decision. Stay. Fight. Die if necessary, because that's what the Yamato's children did. The Kodai accelerated, her wave motion core building to critical overload, her hull beginning to crack from the strain. Harvester weapons tore at her, but the other ships provided cover, sacrificing themselves to protect her run. 10 seconds to impact," Shima called, his hands steady on controls that were disintegrating under exotic matter overflow. "All hands," Carter's voice carried across every channel, to every ship, to every reality. "It's been an honor serving with you, fighting beside you, being part of something bigger than any single Earth. Whatever happens next, remember, we stood together, all of humanity, united. That's the real victory." 5 seconds. The Kodai struck the command vessel at relativistic velocity, her wave motion core overloading in a cascade of exotic matter release. The explosion existed across all dimensions simultaneously. It wasn't just destruction. It was transformation. The Kodai's sacrifice created a quantum ripple that propagated through the Harvester command network, disrupting coordination, severing connections, causing catastrophic failures across their entire fleet. The Harvesters, suddenly without central coordination, faltered, and humanity struck. The remaining ships, less than 100 now, unleashed everything they had left. Wave motion guns, ancient weapons, exotic physics made manifest. And the Harvesters broke, retreated, fled back through dimensional barriers to wherever they came from, leaving behind wreckage and silence. The battle was over. Humanity had won. At a cost of over 600 ships, hundreds of thousands of lives, including everyone aboard the SGC Kodai. But they'd won. 1 week later, the memorial service drew representatives from every surviving Earth. Admiral Carter stood before a holographic display showing every ship lost, every name, every sacrifice. "We came here to fight extinction," she said, all her voice carrying to all realities. "We succeeded. The harvesters are gone, scattered. No longer a threat to our universes, but the cost..." Her voice caught. The cost was everything we feared and more. 637 ships, 473,000 people, gone, including the SGC Kodai and her crew, including Major Daisuke Shima, who piloted the Yamato in one universe and the Kodai in another, including Dr. Sakezo Sado, who served aboard the original Yamato and refused to abandon her children, including hundreds of thousands whose names we'll spend years properly honoring. She paused, composing herself. But they won. They saved us, all of us, every human in every universe. And they did it the same way the original Yamato did, through sacrifice, courage, and absolute refusal to let humanity die. The Yamato's legacy isn't a ship, it's an idea. The idea that we fight, we endure, we sacrifice for each other, and we never, ever surrender. Today, we honor that legacy. We remember the fallen, and we promise, we swear, that their sacrifice will not be forgotten. Every Earth will teach their children about this battle, about the multiverse war, about the day humanities stood together and saved existence itself. The Yamato sails eternal, and now so does the Kodai, and every ship we lost, and every person who died. They're out there, in the quantum foam between realities, protecting us, watching over us, reminding us what humanity can be when we're at our best. We honor them by living, by building, by refusing to let fear or hatred divide us across realities. We are humanity, all of us, united across infinite Earths, and we will endure forever. The assembled representatives stood, saluting the memorial display. And across 57 realities, on 57 Earths, people stopped to remember the day their universe was saved by strangers from parallel worlds who became family through shared sacrifice. The Yamato's legacy lived on, in ships, in courage, in unity, forever.